On November 5th, 2024, America will head to the polls. The 2024 presidential election promises to be one of the most consequential in recent history. It is a contest between two contrasting visions for the nation's future. In one corner stands incumbent Vice President Kamala Harris, representing the Democratic Party. Harris is vying to become the first female president of the United States. She carries the hopes of a diverse coalition, seeking progress on issues like healthcare, climate change, and social justice. Facing off against her is the Republican nominee, former President Donald Trump. Trump's return to the political arena after his 2020 defeat has energized his base. They are drawn to his populist message, focused on economic nationalism, immigration restrictions, and a return to America First policies. The stakes of this election are incredibly high. The outcome will shape America's domestic agenda and its global standing for years to come. It will determine the direction of the economy, healthcare, climate policy, and America's role on the world stage. The 2024 election is not just about choosing a president. It's about choosing the soul of America. Kamala Harris's campaign is anchored in a message of progress and inclusivity. She promises to build upon the achievements of the Biden-Harris administration, particularly on healthcare, climate action, and education. Harris is a strong advocate for expanding access to affordable healthcare. She supports strengthening the Affordable Care Act and lowering prescription drug costs. Her healthcare plan aims to achieve universal coverage and ensure quality, affordable care for all Americans. Climate change is another defining issue for Harris. She has pledged to make the U.S. a leader in the fight against global warming. Her platform includes ambitious goals for renewable energy, carbon neutrality, and investments in green infrastructure. Education is also a key pillar of Harris's campaign. She proposes making college more affordable and tackling student debt. She emphasizes the need for investments in early childhood education and support for teachers. Harris's message resonates with a broad coalition of voters. This includes African Americans, Latinos, women, young people, and suburban voters. They see her as a champion for their values and aspirations. Donald Trump's 2024 campaign echoes many themes from his presidency. He continues to advocate for his signature America First agenda. This includes a focus on economic nationalism, restrictive immigration policies, and a skeptical stance towards global engagement. Trump's economic message centers on boosting American manufacturing, renegotiating trade deals, and reducing regulations. He argues that his policies will bring back jobs and revitalize the American economy. Immigration remains a cornerstone of Trump's platform. He promises to secure the border, limit legal immigration, and prioritize American workers. His stance on immigration continues to draw both strong support and staunch opposition. Trump also criticizes what he sees as excessive government regulation. He proposes rolling back environmental protections, financial regulations, and other rules that he believes stifle economic growth. Trump's base of support remains largely unchanged from 2020. It consists of white working-class voters, rural voters, and those who feel left behind by economic globalization. They are drawn to his populist message and his promise to restore America's greatness.
Voter sentiment in the 2024 election is deeply divided. The race is expected to be close, with both candidates enjoying passionate support from their respective bases.
Harris's supporters are motivated by her message of progress and her commitment to addressing issues like healthcare, climate change, and social justice. They view her as a unifying figure who can heal the divisions in the country.
Trump's supporters remain loyal to his America First agenda. They appreciate his focus on economic nationalism, immigration restrictions, and his willingness to challenge the status quo. They see him as a strong leader who can stand up for their interests.
The election will likely hinge on which candidate can better mobilize their base and persuade undecided voters. Key issues such as the economy, healthcare, and the COVID-19 pandemic are likely to sway voters in this crucial election. The outcome will depend on which candidate can tap into the hopes and anxieties of the American people and offer a compelling vision for the future. Section 6. Numbers don't lie. Polling data and electoral projections.
As the 2024 election enters its final stretch, polling data and electoral projections provide a glimpse into the potential outcome. Although it's important to remember that polls are snapshots in time and not predictions.
National polls have consistently shown a tight race between Harris and Trump, with both candidates polling within the margin of error.
These polls suggest a deeply divided electorate and a highly competitive election.
Electoral college projections also paint a picture of a close race.
Both candidates have a plausible path to victory, with the outcome depending on a handful of swing states.
However, it's crucial to note that polls can be volatile, and the race can shift quickly.
Undecided voters, late-breaking events, and the impact of campaign strategies can all influence the final result.
While polls provide valuable insights, the only poll that truly matters is the one on Election Day. Section 7. A Harris Presidency. Potential Policy Impacts and America's Trajectory. A Kamala Harris victory would usher in a new era in American politics. As the first female president, her election would be a historic milestone, signaling a potential shift in American society and its values. On the policy front, a Harris administration would likely prioritize many of the issues she campaigned on, including healthcare, climate change, and social justice. Her administration would likely pursue policies aimed at expanding access to affordable healthcare, transitioning to a clean energy economy, and addressing systemic racism and inequality. On the global stage, a Harris presidency would likely mark a return to multilateralism and a renewed emphasis on diplomacy. She has pledged to restore America's global leadership and repair relationships with allies strained during the Trump years. A Harris presidency would represent a continuation of many of the policies and priorities of the Biden-Harris administration. However, her unique background and experiences would likely shape her approach to governing and her vision for America's future. Section 8. The Trump Effect. 2.0. Policy Shifts and Global Ramifications. A Donald Trump victory would represent a significant shift in American politics and policy. His second term would likely build upon the policies he pursued during his first term, with a renewed focus on his America First agenda. Domestically, a second Trump term would likely see a continuation of his economic nationalist policies, including tariffs, deregulation, and efforts to reduce immigration. He would also likely continue to appoint conservative judges to the federal judiciary, further shaping the courts for generations to come. On the foreign policy front, a second Trump term could lead to further unpredictability and a continued retreat from traditional alliances. His approach to global affairs, characterized by skepticism towards multilateralism and a preference for bilateral deals, would likely continue to reshape America's role in the world. A second Trump term would have profound implications for America's global standing and its relationship with allies and adversaries alike. His policies would likely continue to be a source of both admiration and concern, both at home and abroad. Section 9. America's Choice, Shaping National Identity and Global Influence. The 2024 presidential election is about much more than just choosing a president. It's about choosing the direction of the country, its values, and its role in the world. The election presents a stark choice between two contrasting visions for America's future. One vision, represented by Kamala Harris, emphasizes progress, inclusivity, and global engagement. The other vision, championed by Donald Trump, prioritizes economic nationalism, immigration restrictions, and a more inward-looking foreign policy. The outcome of the election will have profound implications for America's national identity and its global influence. It will determine how America sees itself and how the world sees America. The choice facing American voters is a consequential one. It's a choice between two fundamentally different paths for the nation. The decision they make on November 5th, 2024, will have lasting consequences for generations to come. Section 10. The Future Uncertain, an Election with Lasting Consequences. As the 2024 presidential election draws closer, one thing is certain: the stakes have never been higher. The outcome of this election will have a profound and lasting impact on America's future, both domestically and internationally. The choice between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump represents a choice between two fundamentally different visions for America. It's a choice between progress and retrenchment, between inclusivity and division, between global engagement and isolationism. The uncertainty surrounding the outcome only adds to the significance of this election. With polls showing a tight race and the electorate deeply polarized, the outcome remains very much in doubt. The 2024 presidential election is a pivotal moment in American history. It's an opportunity for the American people to decide what kind of country they want to live in and what role they want America to play in the world. The decision they make will shape the nation's destiny for decades to come.